Welcome everyone to another episode of WordPress and Coffee. Today is Wednesday, April 12th, 2017. We made it through half a week. Hope everybody's doing good out there. This is a live stream that happens every day, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. I like to talk about a little bit about this, a little bit about that, about WordPress, web development in general, web design, anything in that realm. And like I said, this runs every weekday at 9 a.m. So if you are a web developer, a web designer, you do WordPress stuff or anything like that, please like and subscribe to this channel, and we can talk a little bit more about WordPress. Hopefully this channel will evolve and continue on and grow and keep growing and become something that is very useful for people to not only learn WordPress but to just enjoy in general. Anyway, so today what I wanted to talk about was user roles in WordPress and roles in general and what they do, and just kind of an overview of the basic rules, and then look into other plugins that you can possibly get, you can download if you want to extend your roles, if you want to, just do different things with them. We're going to talk a little bit about that kind of stuff. So let me head on over to our browser, and as you can see, we are logged in to our WordPress site in the dashboard. And user roles, like if you want to add a new user, you can go to user and you add a new user, and this gets you to the new user page. And here you can see their roles. This is the roles you can assign that come out of the box with WordPress. And I want to talk a little bit about the roles and what all you can do here. Now, the default role is set up here. So if you want to have a certain default role, so when people sign up, if you allow people to sign up, out of the box WordPress does not allow for users to sign up. You have to set this option, and the option is if you go into the general settings here and you scroll down, you can see the membership here. This has to be enabled for anybody to be able to subscribe, so you have to check on that. So if you want people to register on your website or anything like that, you can click that, and then the default role that you want to give them, you can set subscriber, contributor, just whatever you want it to set to. But you got to keep in mind that you probably never and ever want to allow anybody to register and send them to administrator, because I mean, I guess that would be kind of a cool experiment, just to see what would happen, and just kind of let it sit out there and see what happened. But yeah, that would give people the ability to do all kinds of things on your website that you probably don't want them to do. So the default setup is nobody can register, which is good, and the default role will be subscriber. So now, if you wanted to, we're going to talk a little bit more about this and get a little more in detail. But let's quickly go over the permissions that each one of these have. If you go over here to the WordPress site, you can see here's a summary of the roles, and the subscriber, which is the default out of the box, is somebody who can only manage their profile. So that's all they can really do. I mean, they can't really do anything. They can't make posts. They can't do anything like that. All they are is really just somebody that says, hey, I'm on your website, I have a username and password, and that's pretty much it. Now, a contributor is someone who can write and manage their own posts, but can't publish them. So if you want contributors, like if you want somebody to almost kind of like anonymous people to register on your website and like help you make posts like events or something like that. For instance, if you want them to submit their like photographs or something like that, you can set to this, but the administrator would have to approve it before it would actually publish to the website. So that's something that can be quite useful for websites. Authors another role. It's somebody who can publish and manage their own post. So they can. This is somebody if you trust, you know, like a contributor, somebody that, well, not really contributors, but somebody who like writes articles for the website or something like that. That's a good role for them, where they can actually write the article and post it and stuff like that. Now they're not able to like set. I don't believe they're not able to set like time frames that post goes live and stuff like that. They can't do that, but they can post and publish their own content. That's the author role. The role after that is the editor. The editor can publish and manage posts, including the post of others. So an editor is almost kind of like a manager in some sort, where he can look at everybody's content, all the other authors, and he's able to, you know, get in there, edit, make changes, publish them, unpublish them, and so forth and so on. It's more of a higher privilege role, and you have, you know, a lot more power than. So, for instance, this is something like on my one website that I have for a client. She is an author, and her role is an editor, because she can make her posts, she can edit, she can manage the like approve the comments and edit the comments, remove comments, do all kinds of stuff like that. That's what an editor can do. And after that, we have the administrator role. Now, the administrator role is someone who has access to all of the administrator features within a single site. So what they're able to do, like an administrator, they can pretty much do anything. They can screw with set themes, they can delete things, they can delete your complete website if they wanted to almost. They could do everything. They have a lot of power, the administrator. So you don't want to give anybody an administrator role, especially if they're not familiar or don't know exactly what they're doing. I wouldn't recommend giving anybody the administrator role, especially like a client. Like if you have a client and they have a WordPress site, and you know, you built it for them, and you're basically managing it for them and helping them. Unless you're just going to give it all to them, I would recommend just having them as an editor role versus an administrator role, because like I said, an administrator role, they can do anything. They can wreak havoc. So that's something just to keep in mind. Now the super administrator, really, it can't be deleted. You cannot delete the super administrator. And whenever you create a WordPress site, the super administrator is the first user that's created. It's created out of the box. Whenever you install WordPress, that's the first person. So when you fill in all that information and you put in your username and all that stuff, when you start a WordPress site, that is the administrator. And the super administrator is the super administrator. Like I said, they cannot be deleted or anything like that. Now you can change their I'm not even sure if you can change the username on a super administrator. Let's look over here. Let's go over here to my we click on users or your profile, because I'm a super administrator on here. Yes. So you can't change your username for the super administrator. It cannot be changed. Usernames cannot be changed. So that's that. Now, if you want to extend your roles and have more control and everything like that, you can go and look at the plugins here, and then if you do a search for roles, and here you can see there are a number of plugins for roles that will do just different things, all kinds of stuff. But they basically give you, for instance, this user role editor. This is a very popular one. It has over 400,000 active installs. And if you look at the details here, you can kind of see pretty much what something like this does is it gives you more power to create new roles and to have certain roles that do certain things. Like, for instance, if you had a company website and you had a role for salespeople, you had a role for accounting people, you had a role for general managers or managers, you kind of split them up, and you could allow different roles to be able to see different things, but do different things. For instance, if you had a website and you wanted like premium content, like you had certain content that you didn't want for public, you wanted like subscribers, paid subscribers. Whenever they would pay, they would become a member. They would get into this new role, and as this new role, they were able to see the certain content that you hid from other roles. In other words, like the general public, or even the basic role that comes with WordPress, you could allow them to see the paid one. The paid roles would be able to see the content that you were wanting to present to them, that were for paid only. That's just one example that you can do. There's a lot of things you can do. I mean, if you download one of these plugins and install it, you can have complete control over your website, and you can do all kinds of stuff. It's really a good tool to learn and to know and to understand. That's the important thing, is to basically understand it, because like I said, you do not want to give somebody an administrator role that that's a role that you really don't want to give anybody except for yourself, the owner of the website, or I mean, even if it is a client, you don't want to give the clients that role, because like I said, they're able to just mess something up, and they may not mean to. They may just be clicking around and not realizing, hey, this really affects things, and you can really lose stuff because they don't know anything about it. So, like I said, for clients, I would recommend using the editor role for them. But anyway, this is just kind of a quick overview and everything over roles and using roles, and I'm sure I will talk more about roles and setting up roles and stuff like that as these live casts go along. Like I said, I'm going to be, pretty much every day is going to be something different. Try to be something a little bit different, just different things about WordPress, and try to get things that people, so that way if you watch the show, you may pick up on little things. Oh, I didn't know you could do that, or I didn't know about that plugin, or anything like that. And if you have any suggestions about plugins, or like a certain role plugin that you really like and you really think that I should look a little more at and maybe have a show over it and talk about it a little bit more, then leave it in the comments below. And if you would like and subscribe to my channel, that would be great, and I really appreciate it. And I just hope to help others with their WordPress stuff, and kind of go from there. But anyway, that's pretty much all I had to really talk about today. I just wanted to explain a little bit about the roles and how they work, and just some of my ideas about them. If you have any suggestions about roles, or comments, or ideas, or things that I didn't mention that are maybe important, just like I said, leave a comment below, and I will be reviewing them and looking at the comments. Anyway, that's all I have for today. So everybody have a good day, and I will see you tomorrow, Thursday. See ya. Bye.